How's it going, everyone? UAA here, and welcome to a special Halloween episode of Marathon. Today I'm gonna play Cave Story, but it's not just regular Cave Story. Every so often, the developers put out a little bit of seasonal art for this game. Now, as far as I know, there's only two different kinds. There is Halloween and Christmas. So since it's Halloween, we're gonna play the Halloween version of Cave Story. Now, as you can tell, our main character is now a zombie. Normally, he just has a red hat on and he looks pretty normal, but now he's turned into a zombie, so we're gonna play Zombie Cave Story. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. I know the Christmas one kind of changes a lot of the backgrounds, and there's many more changes than the Halloween one, so I don't know, maybe this is a new one, they're trying it out this year. I don't really know, but yeah, so it's pretty much the same as the normal game. There's no like gameplay differences. As far as I know, the only difference in the Halloween version is your character. He's a zombie instead of a robot. So in this game, you play as a robot, and there's a story. I'm gonna try to explain it along the way, but to be honest, I don't really care all that much. It's it's pretty much the most basic story you could possibly get. There's nothing to it. So at the beginning here, we've got this scientist guy who is looking for a character named Sue, and I think they're related. I think they're brother and sister, something like that. So apparently, what's his face there, Kazuma, he's trapped inside a room and he's trying to contact Sue. So we're gonna go look for them. I'm not really sure why we're in this cave in the first place. I mean, we just kind of start off here with no explanation or anything like that. I don't know. The story's very basic. There's nothing to it. This isn't a deep and complex RPG story. Yeah, so it's pretty basic. Anyways, in that room back there, we just stole this gun from that guy who was sleeping. Yeah, we just flat out stole it. It's called the Polar Star. It's a semi-automatic weapon. It's not very strong. At level 1, it only does 1 damage per shot, which really isn't good at all. As you kill enemies, sometimes they will drop these little golden triangles, and that is basically experience for your weapons. And every single weapon in the game, you can level up to level 3. And for most weapons, not all, but for most weapons, the higher the level, the stronger the weapon is. So we just upgraded the Polar Star to level 2, and instead of just shooting out 1 bullet, we now shoot out 2, which is cool. Anyways, here we are in Mamiga Village, and this is where the whole story begins. You have to do a bunch of different things here in Mamiga Village. You gotta fight some people, get some stuff. They don't really tell you what to do. I know during my first playthrough, which was maybe somewhere around a year ago, somewhere around that time, I know at that point I was really confused on where to go, because the game doesn't give you too much direction. Later on it becomes very linear, but at this first part of the game, they don't exactly tell you what to do. But Mamiga Village really isn't that big, so if you just explore enough, you'll be able to find, you know, all the things you need to do, and it's a pretty simple game. Anyways, this episode of Marathon was suggested by a user by the name of FelixDeckett. Now, I know in the last episode of Marathon, I didn't exactly remember who suggested the game, but this one, I do remember who suggested it, because it's FelixDeckett, and I watch every single one of his videos, and I'll be talking about him at some point during this, because I have something to say. But yeah, I don't really give out free shoutouts during my videos, but this time I am. Anyways, let's go in here into this shack type thing, and one of the Mamigas tries to attack us. I think this one's called Toroko or something like that. So at this point, there's a character named the Doctor who is coming to the village and kidnapping all the Mamigas and like performing experiments on them. Excuse me, my cough is much worse than normal. So the doctor is coming and kidnapping these little Mamigas, which I just call them bunnies because that's what they look like. They're bunnies! They look like bunnies! Yeah, so they're being kidnapped and all that, and these are the two doctor's henchmen. On the right is Misery, and on the left is Balrog. And we'll be fighting Balrog a number of times throughout the game. And he always has to, like, take care of you. He's like the... What's the word for it? I don't know. Let's move along with this story. So, right here, he gives you the option to fight you. If you say no right here, he won't fight you. It's actually quite funny, but we're gonna fight him just so we can see all the bosses and all that. So for the first boss in the game, he just walks left and right. He'll occasionally jump, but he's a pushover. If you have trouble with this boss, well, you're going to be in for a world of hurt throughout the rest of the game, because this game gets pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie. At one point, you need to fight 4 bosses in a row without any health refill or anything like that, so this game's pretty challenging. It's not the easiest game ever. Oh, I forgot to mention, I am playing Cave Story Plus, which is sort of a remake of the original game. It just has enhanced graphics and music, which is, it's cool. This is my favorite version of the game. I think it's the best version, just because, well, the updated graphics, I don't really care about those, you know. They're nice, but it's really not that much of an update. I mean, it looks better, obviously, but it's not that much better. It's just, it's slightly better. And hold on, I'm gonna get some water. I'm sorry, just right now, I'm really frustrated. You know, not because of this game or anything like that. It's just, I've been wanting to do this for the past, like, 6 hours now. But the people here are so loud. It's ridiculous. And I know it's Halloween weekend, and they're all getting ready to go to their parties or whatever. They just left, and it's 10 o'clock right now. It was just frustrating. I just, you know, I don't fit in with these people. I'm not, you know, your typical college student. I'm not interested in going out to parties or anything like that. And it can get a little frustrating sometimes because these people are really loud. And, you know, today, especially, they were really loud. And I have 3 essays to do this weekend. 3 of them. A total of 13 pages. And when they're really loud, it's difficult to work. It's just frustrating, you know. There's not much I can do about it. But anyways, here we are at the first level of the game. It is the Egg Corridor. And here, I'm not exactly sure what our objective is. I think we may be looking for Sue. I think that's our objective, but... anyways, we just upgraded our Polar Star to level 3. Now it shoots a wider beam that does, I think 4... it does 4 damage per shot, which is nice. It's better than the level 2 version. Eventually, the Polar Star will become really weak and pretty worthless, so... yeah, we'll be upgrading it later, let's say. Anyways, here's a cutscene where Sue gets kidnapped by a big giant bunny. I forgot, I think his name's like Igor? I think it's Igor. If it's not, it's something like that. And so we're gonna go save her because we are the hero. Well, actually, we're a zombie, but you know. I love this Halloween update. It's a small thing, but I don't know, just playing as a zombie, that's really cool. I don't really know what happens to your character in the Christmas update. Did they give him like a Santa hat or something like that? That would be pretty cool. But yeah, that would be cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll play this game again when Christmas comes around. I'll do another episode of Marathon. I don't know. I'll have a bunch of things to talk about during that episode, so it doesn't get stale for, you know, people who want to watch both of them. And yeah, the first level of the game really isn't that hard. It's there's a bunch of green flying enemies, some green blobs on the ground. You know, nothing you can't handle. you know, if you're a seasoned video game player, like if you're like me and you've played a lot of Mega Man games, then this is really not a problem for you. Yeah, it's pretty. It's actually a lot like Mega Man. You got a gun, you walk around at a pretty slow but comfortable pace, and yeah. So there we just got the second weapon in the game. It is the missile launcher. And the missile launcher, as you might expect, fires missiles, and they're very powerful. At level 3, I think they do 17 damage per shot, which is very nice. So we're going to try to upgrade that to level 3 before we head to the boss up ahead. So all you need to do is just kill some enemies and get these triangles that come with them. It's pretty simple. Switching between your weapons is really smooth. You have an option to switch between, you know, to switch left and right, so it's very smooth and streamlined. I like it. This game's controls they're great. They just feel great. Everything just feels good. You walk at a very comfortable pace. The shooting feels good. The jumping feels just right. Everything about the game just feels great. And I would highly recommend this game. I think the original version is free. This version, I don't think it is free. I have to thank my brother for buying me this game as part of the Humble Bundle on Steam. So thank you, Mitchell, for buying this game for me, you know, so long ago. It's been a while, but thanks, man. I love this game, and the other games that came with that Humble Bundle were also really good. I think VVVVVVV came with that. That's also a really great game. I might play that for Marathon at some point. And yeah, thank you for buying it for me. Anyways, here's our second boss in the game. It is Igor. He kind of just runs around, but occasionally he will shoot out a bunch of energy balls at you. But he's pretty much just like Balrog. He's very simple to defeat. Just use your missiles up first and then switch to your Polar Star, and you should be just fine. It's not too hard. At least I don't think it's too hard. And let's head in here. And here we meet the kidnapped Sue. And she wants to fight you for some reason. I don't know why. And she tells you more about the story and all of that. So apparently a lot of the characters are trying to escape from the island. They're trying to hatch this egg right here, which hatches into some sort of dragon. We'll be seeing it later. Spoilers. It's not really a spoiler, but we'll be seeing it later, and yeah, it hatches into some sort of dragon. So now that we've rescued Sue, we can head back to the village and go to our next place. They don't really explain what you're doing and all that. I mean, they do, sort of. It doesn't really matter. I don't care for the story in this game. It's nothing, you know, it's nothing I'd really, yeah, it's just not that engaging of a story. The story is very minimal. I mean, it will get you from place to place, but other than that, it doesn't really do all that much, which is fine for this type of game. I mean, it's a fun little platformer. I don't really want it to have a story. This isn't an RPG, although it does have some RPG elements, like the leveling up of guns, and you can trade some items with people, and, you know, things like that. And yeah, this is a really great game. I would recommend it to anybody who is interested in this type of game. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the PC version is free. The original version, I mean. This is also for the PC, if you couldn't already tell. I think this also came out on the Wii. I think the original version got ported to the Wii. And finally, I think there is a version on the 3DS called Cave Story 3D. Correct me if I am wrong, but I believe there is another one. And, yeah. So, there's a lot of ways to get this game. This is my favorite version of the game. I think it's better than the original, just for the updated graphics and audio. I think this soundtrack is slightly better than the original. The original one is really good, but I think this one just has a little bit more flair. And yeah, I like this one better. I know a lot of people are die-hard fans of the original soundtrack, and I understand why. It's a great soundtrack, but I think this version is just a little bit better. So yeah, I'll be pointing out my favorite songs when we get to them. And yeah. Okay, so now Sue and Kazuma are communicating with each other. Apparently Kazuma is in an area called the Bushlands, I believe. And here Sue gets taken by these two characters right here. The purple guy he's like the mayor of the village. And the green one, I guess he's like, you know, like second in command? I don't know. The purple guy is called King. And the other one, I don't remember his name. It's something... I don't remember. Anyways, did I get the map? I did get the map. Anyways, here's the map. It's a map. Pretty self-explanatory. I forgot to say it when I picked it up. Anyways, go over here and talk to Sue, and she will tell you that you need to go visit her brother in the Bushlands. Then you can head back to the teleporter and go over there. Pretty simple. And this is the format the game will be taking. Yeah, for pretty much the rest of the game. You just go from level to level, you do your things, and yeah, pretty simple. Like I said, this game's very basic in terms of structure and story. Nothing too complicated. Some of the puzzle type things are kind of hard to figure out. Each area sort of has a puzzle. In the first area, we had to deactivate the barrier at the very end, which we needed an ID card for. In this area, we need to build a bomb, and then I'll talk about the next one later. So each area sort of has, like, not necessarily a puzzle element, but something you need to figure out, something you need to search for. You know, it's not too complicated, but it's not as simple as just run from left to right and kill a boss or something like that. It's nice. Your first time through, it may be a little bit confusing, but after that, you'll remember what to do, and it's a lot of fun. I love this game. This game is... it's great. I can't say that enough. This game is great. I highly recommend you play it. It is a little bit challenging, I will admit, but if you work at it and you pick up all the life upgrades on the way, you should be able to beat it. At least get the good ending anyways. This game has 3 different endings. I'll be pointing out all of them as we get to them. I won't be showing off 2 of them. I'm only going to be doing the best ending, but I'll at least talk about the other 2 endings, you know, say what happens in terms of the story and all of that. So here we are at the Bushlands. It's sort of the grassy forest area, and we just got a new weapon. We got the Fireball. Now, I'm not really a fan of the Fireball. When it's fully upgraded, each shot is slightly more powerful than the Polar Star. However, they travel along the ground, and it's kind of difficult to hit some enemies with it, so I don't use it all that much. I will be using it for a few bosses just because it is slightly stronger than the Polar Star, so it's not terrible, but I don't find myself using it all that often. So yeah, I'm not gonna get every single weapon in the game. I'm gonna skip one of them just because I don't think it's very good. But I'm gonna get most of them. So anyways, we need to get through that fireplace, but we need to go get a jellyfish juice type thing in order to get past it. So you could leave right now, but you know what? I'm kind of tired. I think it's time for a nap. Let's just take a nap, you know? It's always good to take a nap so you can be well rested. Whoa. What just happened there? Well, that's weird. Why is she in the bed too? I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. Let's just check our inventory right here. What is that? Huh? What? I feel violated. You know what? Let's just pretend like that never happened. Nothing happened right there. Nope. Nothing happened. This game is it's just filled with all these little secrets that make the game I don't know, it just has a certain charm to it that not many other games can replicate. And I can't stress it enough, I love this game. I've played this game so many times over the past year. I can't say it enough. This is a great game. It's so much fun. And even though this game doesn't have too much replayability, I just find myself playing it over and over and over again. It's so much fun. I can't say it enough. This is a great game, and I highly recommend you try it out. So anyways, after killing the big jellyfish, we get the jellyfish juice, which will allow us to put out the fire and get past it. But we're not going to do that quite yet. Instead, we're going to head back to the first guy's house. I think his name was Santa. We're going to head back there, and we need to go back here for something anyway, so we might as well do it now. So if you go to his fire and put it out with the jellyfish juice, you get some charcoal, which we will be needing later on. So yeah, might as well get it now. And now we need to get a second jellyfish juice in order to get past that fireplace, and then later we're going to have to come back and get a third one. There's a little bit of backtracking in this area, but if you play your cards right, it's not too bad. But I kind of, if I made the game, I would have changed up the design a little bit. Just a little bit. I like this area. It's, you know, it's sort of a blend between a swamp and a forest. It just feels right. It feels good. And every single area in the game, it has a certain charm. Every single area is memorable in some way, and this whole game is memorable. I love this game. I didn't get the jellyfish juice. That's the product of doing live commentary. Sometimes you forget to do things you need to do. Now, hopefully, I won't forget any of the requirements for the best ending, which, in order to get the best ending, you have to do a lot of very specific things. It is incredibly easy to miss the best ending. On your first playthrough, you will not get the best ending if you don't know about it. I guarantee it. It's just not gonna happen. There's just so many things you need to do, and at some points, the game tries to trick you into not getting the best ending. I'm serious. I'm serious. You're gonna see later. The game will try to trick you into not getting the best ending. You will not get it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. But hopefully I won't mess up. So we got the second jellyfish juice. Now we can head to the fireplace and put it out. And now we can access the second part of the bushlands. This track that's playing right now, it's one of my least favorite tracks in the game. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know, it's just, you know, I'm just not feeling it with this track. It's okay, but it's nothing special. But you know, it's part of this game's soundtrack, so nothing special is still really good. Don't get me wrong. It's still a good track, but I don't know, I just prefer other pieces more. So anyways, this is the area in which Kazuma is being held. So we need to talk to him through this crack in the door. And he'll tell you that he needs to get out of here and the door is locked. So he will give you a key. And this is not the key to the door. That would be really easy. Apparently there's no keyhole, even though it looks like there is, but you know, we'll trust the game. There's no keyhole. However, that key unlocks this door over here. And here's a robot. But over here, we can turn on the power to the area, which we need to do. And the robot just turns on. And now we've got a boss. But it's not the one you're expecting. Nope. Balrog drops in and challenges you again. Did you know that the Mimiga I found wasn't Sue? You don't say. No, I didn't. Oh, I love this theme, by the way. Great theme. I love Balrog's theme. It's great. I could just sit here and listen to this all day. But we've got a game to finish, so let's move on. So we have to face against Balrog once again, and this time he flies around. So just like Actually, no, we didn't have the missiles the first time, so just shoot out all of your missiles. Then once you run out, you can either switch to the Polar Star or the Fireball. I prefer the Polar Star for this fight, but either one works. It's a rather easy boss, and yeah, he'll fly away again. And trust me, that that won't be the last time we'll be seeing him. So let's fix the robot. I kind of feel bad for it. I mean, it just got squished. Let's fix it. After fixing him, he will offer to build a bomb. So we need to go gather some materials in order to build the bomb. And we need charcoal, jellyfish juice, and gum base, which I don't... What is gum base? I don't exactly know, but whatever, let's go get it. Before we move on, let's go back and get the jellyfish juice now. If you noticed, the fans are now turned on, and this will allow us to go back and forth between the first and second area without having to use the fireplace, which is mandatory. Or normally you need a jellyfish juice to get past that fireplace, but now that the power's turned on, we don't need one. Yeah, there's a ton of enemies in this area. It's a great way to upgrade all of your weapons if they aren't upgraded already. Whenever you get hit in the game, your weapons will slightly de-level. Depending on how much damage you take, the experience of your weapons will go down, which can be a problem during some bosses. You just get hit by a very powerful attack, and then you just you have a really bad weapon, and sometimes that can be very detrimental to your performance. But other times it's not so bad. Like right there. Just a second ago, the Polar Star downgraded from level 2 from level 3 to level 2. So we need to get a little bit more experience and it will level back up. All the weapons can go to max level, and all that means is you're at maximum experience. It doesn't mean your weapon is more powerful or anything like that. It just means your weapon is at max experience. You can't get any more experience, which I guess it's nice. It's not the best thing ever, but you know, it's there. And yeah. So now we have to go collect all of those weapons, and it's kind of boring until we get to the boss of the area. So I'm going to talk about something, and this is something I normally don't talk about, but today I'm going to do it just because it's such a special occasion. Now, as some of you may already know, I'm working on the Mega Man 2 Perfect Pacifist Challenge. Now I'm going to say this right now. That challenge is not going to be done for a long, long time. 3 of the stages are nearly impossible. Now at this point, I have finished 6 of the 8 main stages. I just finished Bubble Man, which was surprisingly difficult, believe it or not. And not Bubble Man himself, the stage. But there's only 2 bosses left, and the 2 bosses are Airman and Quickman. Now Quickman, he's going to be so difficult to defeat with just the Mega Buster and without taking damage. It's going to take at least 300 tries, and I'm going to have to go through that stage so many times. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it one bit. I'm gonna have to go through it so many times. It's gonna get so tiring. And Quickman, he's gonna be really hard. But you know what? That's really not what I'm worried about. I'm more worried about Airman. His stage, try it out. Try to kill as few enemies as possible. Go for it. I dare you. I dare you. Because you're not gonna do it. It's ridiculous. And I swear, it's going to take me maybe like 2 months to do it. It's it's ridiculous. It's gonna take a long time, so don't expect it for a while. I'm gonna work really hard at it, but I'm also gonna be working on sort of a secret project. It's with a game I really love, and I think it deserves a really nice challenge. In fact, I think it's my biggest challenge yet. It may take slightly less time than the Gradius 3 Flawless Run, but this is a huge challenge, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And I'm going to try to get it out before Christmas, but if I don't finish it by then, I'm not going to sweat it. I'll just push it back. It's one of those things where it's not like Gradius 3, where there's sort of a defined goal where you have to, you know, get to the end without dying. It's sort of different, and it's going to be awesome. I guarantee it. You guys are going to love it. I'm going to try to get it out by Christmas. If I can't, I'll push it back. So, yeah, look forward to that. Anyways, in this room, there is a boss. And there's definitely not a boss in this room. What was I thinking? No, there's just a treasure chest with the gum base in it. There's not a boss here. Don't worry about it. Not a boss here. Don't worry. Oh, look who it is. It's Misery. You don't actually fight Misery until late in the game, but you'll be fighting Balrog many, many times. And look who it is! He's back again. Didn't we just fight this guy, you know, a couple minutes ago? Well, it looks like Misery is just going to cast her magic on him. Balrog is just a misunderstood character. He gets the short end of the stick. And look, he's transformed into a frog. Alright, alright. So anyways, with this boss, you can't exactly hurt it. You can't just hurt it normally. You need to wait for it to open its mouth. Then you can just pump a lot of missiles into it. But eventually you're going to run out of missiles. After that, you can either use the fireball or the polar star. Pretty simple, just like every other boss in the game. You need to use these fans on the left and right of the room in order to get over him without taking damage. But it's not too bad. There, I just ran out of missiles, so we gotta use the polar star now. Throughout the fight, frogs will be falling from the ceiling, so watch out for those. But yeah, you really shouldn't have too much trouble with him. And you should be able to defeat, dare I say it, Balrog? Oh my god, I am clever. I can't believe the game doesn't take advantage of that. Like, seriously, that's the most obvious pun ever. It just says defeated Balrog. That's the most obvious pun. I can't believe they didn't take advantage of that. I mean, come on. Missed opportunity on their part. I'm sorry, my cough. I don't know what the problem is, people. I've been trying to fix it. I'm gonna take a break. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that, you know, coughing. I don't know what the problem is, people. I've tried everything. You can try to, you know, throw out your suggestions, but it's just, I don't know what to do. I have a theory of why I'm coughing so much, but I can't confirm it, and it's kind of out there, but I can't even make it through one sentence anymore. I'm really sorry. I apologize for this. I hope you guys can deal with it. I'm sorry. I truly am. But, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. Oh, crap. What am I doing? Anyways, we just got the bomb, so now we need to get Kazuma out of that building by blowing up the door. It doesn't really seem like the safest method, but, you know, we're gonna do it anyway. I guess. I don't know. Why can't we just break the door down or something? Wouldn't that make more sense? It doesn't look like the door is too impenetrable or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, we just rescued Kazuma, and now we can head back to the village. And, yeah, we can move on to the third level of the game. Oh. I was fine earlier. I was not coughing at all. When I originally wanted to do this at 6 p.m., 6 p.m., not 10 p.m. like it is now. It's ridiculous. I mean, I get it. It's Halloween weekend, and, you know, they all want to go out and do their thing, but I'm just different than them. I'm not gonna try to, discredit them or anything like that. I'm not gonna say they're bad people, because they're not. It's just I'm different than them, and I just don't get along. Anyways, here's Booster. He's like the doctor figure of the game. I'm not exactly sure how to describe him, but he's Booster. It reminds me of Booster from, well, actually, he doesn't remind me at all of this, but just his name. It's the same name as the character from, what's that movie called? It's that Christmas movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Is it Jingle All the Way? Something like that, but in that movie he plays a character called Turbo Man, and he has a sidekick named Booster. And I remember throughout the movie they say, nobody likes Booster. I like that movie. I'm not really a movie person. I think I've talked about this before, but I rarely see movies. The only reason I saw movies like back when I was in high school is when, people I knew wanted to go see a movie, and I'm like, I really don't care about the movie, but, I'm just gonna go to hang out. It might be fun, and for the most part it was. You see a movie, maybe it turned out to be good, maybe it turned out to be bad, It was a different experience each time, but, I'm just not much of a movie person. Here's my theory. I don't really know exactly why I don't like movies, but here's my working theory. I think it's because I can't really get involved in a movie in, an hour and a half. I can't get involved with the plot and the story and all the characters and all that. I can't really get involved in such a short period of time. I need more time for the characters to develop and stuff like that. Maybe it's because I'm used to playing RPG video games, which last for 30 or so hours. I don't know, I'm not a fan of movies. Maybe it's because I prefer the interactive element of video games, how, I get to choose how the story goes, or I get to take a part of the story, or something like that. Maybe that's why, but for the most part, movies really, I generally don't enjoy movies. There are some exceptions, of course, but I'm really not into movies, it's just not my thing. And, yeah, I don't know. Movies seem to be something that's generally liked by everyone, but I've never really gotten into them. I don't know. It's probably just because I like video games so much more. But, yeah. Apparently there's some movie about video games coming out this winter, fall or something. What's it called? Like Wreck-It Ralph, I think? I don't know, it's like a movie that's based around video game characters, and I guess I don't really understand the concept, but I guess I might go see that. I don't really exactly have the spare cash to go see it, but hey, one of my subscribers, you want to go see a movie with me? Come pick me up and pay for my ticket. I'm dead serious, by the way. Although I'm gonna take a wild guess and say none of you live anywhere near me. Maybe one or two of you live in the same state I do. But yeah, I'm guessing the majority of you don't live near me. Which is fine. I don't care. But yeah. Okay. Anyways, we've got Kazuma back in the village, and they let Sue out of her prison, and now they're talking about what they need to do in order to defeat the doctor and all that. So they just told me to go to the sand zone. So we're gonna head there right about now. And this is level 3 of the game. It is the typical desert area, and the song that is here is amazing. But first, cutscene. That was a deep and riveting cutscene. I got so much out of that. I learned so much about that character in 3 seconds. Not even. Anyways, here's the sand zone. The music that is here, amazing. Amazing. But we'll be hearing it a lot, because you'll see why. Anyways, boss time. So we have to face off against this girl because she thinks that we're gonna kill the bunnies. But we're not. but we don't get a chance to explain that to her. So we have to face her and her 4 bunny friends. Now the bunnies are defeated in 1 hit, but they will come back, so you have to watch out for them. The girl herself, she has a very rapid-firing machine gun. You can just jump over it, it's pretty simple. I recommend the fireball because it does more damage, and she always stays on the ground, so it's pretty easy to hit her with it. So anyways, we got her, and she asks us if we want to kill all of the Mamigas. Well, since I am a zombie, we're gonna say yes. You can't say yes, you have to go back up to her and say that you're not gonna kill him. Yeah, I don't know. I like how the game gives you the option to say, yes, I am going to kill them all. I'm a bloodthirsty murderer. She introduces herself. Her name is Curly. Curly Brace, to be exact. And she's your... she's like the sidekick, I guess. Not really sidekick. We're not really... No, I did not mean to do that. Uh-oh. So she gives you the option to trade your Polar Star for the machine gun. Now this is the machine gun. It's very fast and very powerful. So you may be thinking, why do we want the Polar Star? It seems kind of worthless. You'll see later. I can't trade it back? Oh. I can't trade it back? There's a reason I did that. Anyone who's played the game knows why I did that. You cannot... you can't get the machine gun right there. Well, technically you can. But really, you can't. So we're gonna walk back real quick. Sorry about this. A little backtrack, but nothing too strenuous. Sorry about that. I wasn't thinking. I forgot about that. I thought you could switch back. I thought she gave you the option to switch back to the Polar Star. But anyways, the machine gun is actually a really good weapon. It shoots very quickly. It does a moderate amount of damage, but since the fire rate is so high, you end up doing quite a bit of damage. But there are better options out there, and I'll be describing why you can't exactly take the machine gun later on. Well, like I said, technically you can still get the best ending, but, you'll see why. Trust me on that one. Alright, so we didn't lose too much progress. One of the things I told myself during this marathon is I'm gonna save very frequently, and in case I mess up, you know, it's easy to mess up in this, especially when you're trying to go for the best ending in the game. So, yeah, we're just gonna skip through this dialogue real quick. I guess I'll explain a little bit about the plot. So the doctor is experimenting with something called red flowers. Now, when these red flowers are fed to the Mamigas, they go, I guess they go insane or crazy. I'm not exactly sure what happens, but bad stuff happens to them and they become more powerful. So, yeah, we're gonna try to stop him. That's the ultimate goal of this game. We'll be getting to that in about an hour or so. This game, it's really not that long. This is probably going to be the second shortest marathon. The only one that was, or I think is going to be shorter, is Mega Man X2, the first one. And speaking of that, I've got another idea involving Mega Man. Now, normally with these marathon sessions, I just like to, you know, play a game under normal conditions and just go through it. Sounds simple? It is simple. However, next time, or maybe not next time, but sometime in the future, we're going to play a Mega Man game with a strange condition. We're going to play a Mega Man game where I am not listening to the game audio one bit. Instead, I am going to be listening to one song the entire time. Now, for those of you wondering, it is not a song I like or particularly enjoy, and the game is not a game I particularly enjoy either. So when we combine a very bad song with a very bad game, it's going to be interesting. And that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sort of torture myself. And at this point, I'm sure most of you have figured out what game it is and what song I'm going to be listening to, but I'm not going to say, just for the people who don't know, which is probably very few of you. But look forward to that within the coming weeks. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. I don't know. There's a lot of games I want to play for this series. I mean, there's so many options because it's basically just a Let's Play except in one sitting, so I can do pretty much any game I want. Yeah, as long as the game isn't too long. But I'm not going to be doing that. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, we have to fight against Curly again. Same strategy as before, use the fireball. If you get hit, don't worry about it. You got plenty of health. And yeah, with the fireball, Curly goes down relatively quickly. Alright, this time we have to pay attention. We have to say, no, we do not want the machine gun. Instead, we just want to keep the polar star. Oh, and apparently Curly here suffers from memory loss. I don't know why. But she does. So let's talk to this guy over here. He tells us that we need to go visit Janka, and that we need to take this dog over here to her house. So let's do that real quick. And yeah. So this room right here looks like a pretty standard room, right? You know, there's a bed, a door, a save point, a healing point. Seems like a pretty normal room, huh? Well, that's where you're wrong. You see, if you jump up here, then jump up here. No, not up here. And go all the way over here. There's a secret treasure chest. And what's inside? You guessed it. No, you didn't, but... Yep. That's what's in it. I don't know why they put this in the game. But they did. I don't get it. Someone explain this to me. It seems rather silly. But it's just one of those little neat Easter eggs in the game. I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. I feel kind of wrong for doing that, but yeah. It's weird. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to say anything else. But yeah, that's a very valuable item, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, now we're traversing through the sand zone. Now this area is a lot more dangerous than anything we've experienced before this, as you might expect. Yeah, you gotta be very careful here. If you go in that sand below here, there are these green alligator enemies that will try to bite you, and they do a ton of damage, and they will most likely de-level your weapon. So watch out for them. They are very powerful and very deadly, so watch out for them. You don't want to get hit by them. Trust me. You don't want to get hit by them. So we're just going to try to avoid it as best as we possibly can. And we should be just fine. So now we need to go find Janka's house. But before that, we need to go take a little detour over here. Oh, there's a secret passageway, by the way. It helps you take a neat little shortcut and avoid all of these enemies right here. Pretty cool if I do say so myself. Let's try to upgrade our Polar Star to level 3. Can we do that before we go to this next room? I want to, but will I be able to? Yes, there we go. And we're also at max energy. Great. All the other weapons are at max or close to being max. Good enough. Alright, let's heal up real quick. And head over here, where I'm sure there will not be a boss. That doesn't look like a boss arena, does it? No. I'm sure it's not a boss arena. Oh, maybe it is. And look, it's Misery once again. Are we actually going to fight her? Take a guess. Take one guess. The answer's no. Actually, she offers to fight you, interestingly enough. But she doesn't have to because something else shows up. This guy! Now this is one of my favorite bosses in the game. Not really for the boss itself. Nah, it's pretty boring. There's not much to it. It's actually pretty simple. No, it's, yeah, the boss itself, pretty lame. So why do I like it so much? Its name. It's called Omega. Why do I like Omega so much? Because I love Mega Man 03, and Omega is the coolest villain in that game, and possibly the Mega Man series. It's Omega! He's awesome. Yeah. Oh, he's pretty easy, by the way. Just, use the fireball, get really close to him, and mash that shoot button as fast as you possibly can. Because the faster you do it, the faster it dies. I don't think any weapon in this game has sort of a fire cap. I think it will fire as fast as you press the button, which is good. I think you can even shoot the machine gun faster if you you just tap the button yourself, but I'm not really sure on that. I would have to double check. But I'm pretty sure you can do that, which is, that's true, that's really neat. Yeah. Okay, so you may be wondering what that boss accomplished. I did not get hit there, I don't know why. I got very lucky. A lot of close calls so far. But we're doing pretty good, we haven't died yet, which is good. Anyways, as I was saying, by defeating that boss, these doors will now open. And that's about it. You don't get anything else from Omega. But, yeah. Okay, let's upgrade the fireball here real quick. Can we get something from these enemies? Yes. Alright, we're good. We're good to go. Alright, so over here is Jenka's house. Let's head on inside and return the dog. Alright, so this part of the game, Balrog here is trying to get access to the warehouse where all the red flowers are located. But Jenka has the key, and Jenka will not give Balrog the key. Now, I don't know why Balrog just doesn't assault Jenka and get the key himself. That seems like the obvious solution. I mean, look, it's a little old lady. You could easily just squish her. And he just leaves. Just like that. Doesn't even put up a fight. I mean, when I first played this game, I was expecting another fight, because at this point we faced him 3 times. So I was expecting another fight. And, I guess the game didn't give us one. Alright, so this is probably the most tedious part of the game. You need to get all 5 of the dogs. And they're all in different places. So let's just get this over with. I'm going to go from furthest to shortest. And when I say furthest to shortest, I mean, you know, furthest distance from Jenka's house. This part is really tedious, I'm not going to lie. It's really boring. So, yeah, it's just a lot of walking and jumping and walking and jumping. There are some armadillos in this area, which, for those of you who don't know, I love armadillos. It definitely has nothing to do with my username. Nope. Definitely not. But yeah, there's some armadillos here, and I refuse to kill armadillos in any type of video game. Just out of principle. I don't want to kill those armadillos, they're so nice. But yeah. So I guess at this point, I'll talk about my next topic. I don't really have that many topics for this week. I figured I would have plenty to talk about during the game, so yeah, I didn't really plan that many topics out, which is fine. I do have plenty to say about this game, so it really shouldn't be a big deal. Anyways, as I was saying, I want to talk about the person that suggested this marathon. His name is FelixDeckett. Now, if you don't know who he is, well, there's a good chance you don't know who he is. But he's a Let's Player, I guess. He does Let's Plays and all that. And I watch every single video. I can't say I've watched every single one he's ever posted, but every single new video I try to watch. And the reason is, for some unknown reason, I love his videos. They make me feel, after watching them, I just feel so much better. Because there's some things in my life where, you know, it just doesn't go so well sometimes for me. This week especially, it was hard to make it through the day, and you know, he had a couple of the days he had a new video, and it just made me feel better about myself. I don't know why. There's no concrete reason, but they just make me feel better. And I honestly, I can't say that for many people on YouTube. Not to say that I don't enjoy other videos, but they just don't make me feel better about myself. I don't know what it is, but if you look in the description, there will be a link to his channel. I'm not asking you to go subscribe or anything like that. Just watch 5 minutes of his latest video. If you don't like it, fine, but I don't know what it is, but the videos, they get me through the day. I'm serious. They just make me feel better about myself. And I don't know why. Maybe it's his voice. It's really nice. I don't know, it's just so soothing. I love you, Felix. If I knew you in real life, I would give you a bro fist. And I know you're watching this, by the way. I mean, why wouldn't you? You suggested this. Yeah, so, thanks, Felix. Thanks for making the great videos. It really makes me... I just enjoy them so much, so thank you. I hope you continue to make videos, and... yeah, if you ever need something from me, I'll be here. Which I don't think you ever will, but, you know, I'm always here if you need something. Anyways, here's another dog. When I first went to this room, I was rather confused. I didn't really realize that there were invisible paths throughout the room. But, once you know the correct path, it's pretty simple. You can use your gun to find the correct one, because if it hits something, then it will explode, but if it doesn't, it will just keep going, and... yeah! I don't know why I was so confused by that my first time through, but I was. Okay, this is the... okay, no, we don't want to kill that armadillo. That is against my code of ethics. Rule number 1 in my code of ethics, do not kill armadillos. They are sacred creatures. Like I said, totally has nothing to do with my username. I should talk about this. My username, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Is it the best username ever? No. But for me, it is the perfect username. Because A, when you look at it, you'll know what I'm interested in. Assuming you know something or two about Mega Man X. And B, it doesn't have any annoying numbers or capital letters or X's or anything like that. I'm sorry, but if you have any of those in your name, you don't have a good username. If you have any type of, you know, like, if you have an X border around your name, or you have, you know, a bunch of capital and lowercase letters, and if you have any numbers, it's just a bad username. I'm sorry, that is the honest truth. It is a bad username. I won't say bad. Not necessarily bad, but unoriginal. I'm gonna say that, and I will defend that statement to the death. That's how I feel. You know, you can always do better. You should never have to use numbers in your name, unless it's, you know, it's like part of your name. Like I watched some other YouTuber by the name of 2 Bucks, and his name is 2 bucks, like $2 bills. That's okay. But if you just have a bunch of numbers at the end of your name, that's just bad. It's bad. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. That's the honest truth. If you can't accept that, then you need to. I'm dead serious, by the way. Oh no! I killed one. I killed one. I killed one. I don't think I can go on. I don't think I can go on. I killed an armadillo. I'm honestly semi-depressed right now. More than usual. Anyways, let's return the 4th dog. Oh, 1 more to go. Now, you technically don't have to return the 5th dog. You'll see why in a moment, but... yeah, we're gonna get it anyway. But let's save first, just in case something terrible happens, although this one's very close by, so I can't imagine anything will go wrong. At this point, the polar star is starting to get very weak. The game sort of expects you to swap to the machine gun, but you should not do that. You really shouldn't. You should hold out for another weapon we'll be getting later. And yeah. Anyways, here is the final dog. It's inside a treasure chest. I don't know how it survived in that, but hey, it's in a treasure chest. I don't know. Video games don't have to make sense, right? Right? Oh, look who it is. It's Balrog once again. And he just stole the key, like he should have done in the first place. I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah. Now he steals the key, after we spent all of that time getting all of the dogs. Now you don't have to return the 5th dog. If you want to, you can just head straight to the warehouse. But if you do return it, you get a life pot, which will restore all of your health, but you can only use it once, so you have to use it wisely. And I will be using it at that point where we have to fight 4 bosses in a row, because we'll be needing it. Yes, we will. Although I have beat it without the life pot. But yeah, I've played this game a bunch of times. I would like to say I'm pretty good at it. I know the inner workings of it. I'm hoping this playthrough will go quite well. So far it's going great, haven't died yet. Most of the bosses have went smoothly. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do a pretty good job. And I'm really pleased at this whole zombie thing that's going on. The funny thing is, I first booted up the game because I attempted to do the marathon at 6 p.m., but it was just too loud and it kept showing up on my microphone, so I had to cancel it for the time being. And I was really confused because I saw the main character was black instead of red like he normally is. So I thought it was a glitch, and I was really confused, so I reloaded the game, and it was still like that. So I went into the options and made sure all my graphics settings were right. And then I saw something. I saw seasonal art on or off. And I didn't know what that was. So I looked it up, and apparently there's seasonal art in the game, which is really cool. I love when developers, it just shows that they care. And this is originally a free game, so I wish more developers were like this. I wish they kinda, were really passionate about their games, and they really supported it. But most developers aren't, they're there to make money, they're a business, I understand that, and I don't blame them. I mean, there's really no reason to stick with your old games and, update them like this, but it's nice when developers do that. It's just a nice thing. It's a nice touch. Here we are inside the warehouse. This is where all of the red flowers are stored, and there is the doctor. The doctor, he's gone insane. He went insane by something. I think it was, maybe he ate some of the red flowers, or maybe it's something else. Was it the... It's fairly evident that I don't exactly know what the story is to this game. I kind of understand the gist of it, but I don't know everything about it. And that's because, well, I don't care. I find the gameplay far more satisfying than the story, so I generally just skip it all. And yeah, King came by, and he has a nice sword, and he used it on Balrog, and he retreated. So yeah, I don't know what we're doing. We entered the door, but I guess we're not? Oh, and King just died right there. That was nice. So do we get to fight the doctor? Not quite. Instead, we get to fight Toroko right there. And this boss, it's not too hard, but I do not know how to kill it quickly. I have never figured it out. My strategy is kind of similar to Toadman from Mega Man 4. I just like to run left and right and walk underneath it. It's a really slow way of killing the boss, but it's effective, so yeah, this is my recommended strategy. For anybody that knows, tell me how to defeat this boss quickly. missiles really haven't worked for me. Using the Polar Star hasn't been the best thing to... I don't know. Someone tell me, you know, an expert on this game, because I really don't know. Now, sometimes it will stand still to throw a block at you, and that's your time to get a lot of damage in. But you shouldn't struggle with this boss. It may take a while, but you should be fine. Anyways, let's talk to King right here, who is now almost dead. Now he's dead. And he leaves his sword, or the blade. Now this weapon is your best friend for the next part of the game. The blade is an excellent weapon. At level 1, it does 15 damage per shot. At level 2, it does 18. Now the level 2 blade it has the best damage per second in the game. It's not exactly the best weapon because it has a very short range, but it has the best damage per second, so it's actually a really useful weapon. The level 3 blade is not that useful. It kind of changes when it hits level 3, and it's really not that useful. I never upgrade it to level 3. And yeah. Anyways, once we exited the warehouse, Balrog came in and squished us, and he threw us inside this prison. So we need to unlock it. Shouldn't be too hard. I'm sure there's some sort of way to unlock it at the top of this room. Maybe it's because I've played this game before and I know what to do. Yeah, so we need to make our way to the top of this room. It's a nice platforming section. I like it. This game is... there's not much emphasis on platforming. I mean, there's some times when you need to platform, but later on in the game we'll be getting an item that basically defeats the purpose of any and all platforming, so yeah, this game isn't very platform heavy, but this area is, and it's kind of cool. I like it. Anyways, go up here, access this computer, and it will open the door. Pretty simple stuff. And we need to fall all the way back down. Yay! Yeah, so let's save. So now we're in the labyrinth. This is technically the 4th level. Now for this entire level, I recommend you use the blade pretty much exclusively. It's a really nice weapon, and you'll be seeing why during one of the bosses coming up ahead. But other than that, the enemies really aren't that much of a threat, especially if you're using the blade, and try to get it up to level 2 before you get to the bosses up ahead, which really shouldn't be that hard. You can always get them to respawn anyway, so it's not a big deal. I don't know what these enemies are supposed to be. They look weird. Inside this door right here is the shop, and inside here we can upgrade the Polar Star to the Snake, which is an interesting weapon. It goes through walls and it's sort of powerful, but we're not going to upgrade the Polar Star just yet. We're going to wait a little bit longer, then we'll upgrade it. Because I want to get the best weapon in the game, or at least what I think is the best weapon. I don't know if it's technically the best weapon, but I think it's the best weapon. It's the most effective weapon for me, for multiple reasons. I'll be talking about all of them when we get it, which should be after the labyrinth. Anyways, let's go inside here. And inside we will find the doctor's clinic. And you can see Curly right there is very sick. And we need to go to some old clinic to get some medicine for her, and yeah, so let's go do that real quick. Right now my blade is almost up to level 3, so I am not going to upgrade it any further. Let's just use the Polar Star for the time being, which is effective enough. And yeah, you don't want to upgrade the blade. I mean, level 3 isn't terrible, but I just think the other ones are better. Alright, so if you see up there, there's a block, which is very different than all the other ones. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to be able to get to this block now. I think you're supposed to wait until you get the jetpack, but we can get up there using a neat little physics trick. So if we jump up here, get hit by that enemy, we are boosted up to this platform. And in here we get the arms barrier. Now the arms barrier will decrease the amount of experience that is lost when you get hit by an enemy. So it's really nice to have. I recommend you get it as soon as possible. yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to be able to get it now, but that's the way I've always done it. If you have the machine gun, you can kind of just fly over there, but we obviously do not have the machine gun. Anyways, here is the old clinic, and inside here is the cure-all. And I'm sure there's no boss here. Oh my god, a boss. I'm so surprised. This boss is kind of weird. You kind of have to run around, otherwise it's going to squish you. If you're fast enough, you should be just fine, but if you're really slow and if you stay in the same spot, you're going to get squished. Like I'm getting squished right now. But if you use the blade level 2, you should be just fine. Like that. I took a lot of damage, but I'm okay. I lived. Alright, so let's head back to the doctor and give him the medicine. And then we'll be able to cure Curly. I think you have to do this for the best ending. I'm not sure, but let's do it anyway. Actually, I think you need to do it for just to progress through the game. I think it's mandatory. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so I think we're all set to go. We'll see Curly later. So let's head back out on our adventure. Yeah, adventure. Okay. So the labyrinth is filled with a bunch of blocks that can instantly kill you. We saw a few of them earlier, but they can instantly kill you, so you have to watch out. You don't want to get squished, otherwise you are going to die. Like up here. If you get squished by this block, you will instantly die, so let's not get squished. Excuse me, had to burp, you know, burping, typical human behavior. Coughing, you know, not so typical human behavior. Alright, so let's go over here. What is this giant mech thing? I'm sure it isn't anything, let's just ignore it. Now let's kill all of these enemies so they don't get in the way, and let's not upgrade the blade to level 3. We need the blade trust me. Oh, look at that, a boss. Okay, so that mech thing came alive, and now we need to defeat it. So first you need to just dodge it, and eventually it will stop. First step, you need to kill all of these green things. With the blade at level 2, you can kill them very quickly. It's not that hard at all. Dodging it while it's moving around really isn't too bad. You can kind of just sit on the tracks if you want to. It's really not too bad. Once you defeat all 4 of those green things, you need to destroy the core. So just follow the same strategy as before, except this time it will shoot a bunch of missiles at you. And, yeah. With the blade at level 2, you can do massive damage each time. And I highly recommend it because this boss can take a long time if you aren't using this strategy. Blade level 2 is a great weapon, like I said. Eventually it becomes sort of useless, but it's a great weapon. I highly recommend you use it. And it's dead. That boss gave me some trouble my first time through. I wasn't using the blade level 2 because I didn't know about it, so yeah. It's kind of tough. But if you use the blade level 2, you should be just fine. Alright, so this part is probably the most evil part of getting the best ending. So if you fall in that pit right there, you cannot get the best ending. And this jump is difficult to make. So I just saved right there. If I mess up, I can just reload my save. Pretty simple, so we're gonna try to make this on our first try. Hopefully. Alright, let's go for it. I made it! Alright. I thought I was going to have to reload my save, but I guess not. I made it. Cool! Inside here is Curly. She needs to lift this giant rock, so we need to help her. But, we can't really do it by ourselves. We're not strong enough. We're just 2 little robots, I guess. Well, actually, 1 robot and 1 zombie. Yeah. And look who it is. It's Balrog once again. So we're going to ask him for our help in lifting the rock. Yeah. I love how Curly just ignores everything he says and just... it's funny. Alright, so we have to face against Balrog once again. This time, I recommend you... I leveled up to Blade. Oh, I leveled back down to Blade level 2. There you saw Blade level 3. It's not terrible, but it just doesn't get the job done. It doesn't do as much damage as Blade level 2. I did it again. Alright, not a big deal. It's not terrible, but it just doesn't do as much damage as Blade level 2. So I recommend you keep Blade at level 2 instead of level 3. After defeating him, Balrog will help you lift the rock, but he tells you to not tell anyone. Which is... alright. I don't know. He might be helping us out later. We'll be seeing him throughout the game, as you've already seen. He comes back. By defeating him, we get an upgrade to our missiles. The super missiles, or it just says the missiles are powered up, but I call them the super missiles. And these missiles are stronger and they move faster, so yeah. In this section, it's in your best interest to level up the missiles because, yeah, you're gonna need them for the next boss, let's say. And, yeah, in this section, Curly will kind of help you out. She runs around with her machine gun, and she is generally pretty effective at killing enemies, but sometimes her AI is a little bit wonky. But for the most part, it's pretty good. She'll go around, kill some enemies, she'll do her thing. I think if you took the machine gun, she will be wielding the Polar Star. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I think that's the case. I can't remember. It's been so long since I actually took the machine gun. I took it on my first playthrough, for anyone who is wondering. But every single playthrough after that, I did not get it. Because it's good, but it's not that good. You'll see why. Yes, you will. Alright, so we're going to try to level up the super missiles to level 3. If we don't get them to level 3, it's not a big deal, but it would be preferred. Okay. Those blue spinny things are... they've got a lot of health. I don't know why. It seems like more health than they should have. But it's not like it's that much. It's just more than usual. Alright, so... okay, how are the super missiles doing? Alright, we got them up to level... oh! Maximum experience. Great! Okay. So we're just going to use the Polar Star throughout the rest of this area. This area has a unique music piece. I don't exactly know why. I'm not sure what's so special about this area, but I like this song. It's kind of nice. It's energetic. It's upbeat. It's just a nice song. It's easy to listen to. I like it. Not too bad, but it's not the best song in the game. Just all right. We haven't gotten to the good songs yet. Well, actually, the one in the Sand Zone I really like, but we haven't gotten to the good songs. Or at least my favorite songs. This area is pretty easy. I don't know, Curly seems to do a pretty good job, so you don't really have to worry about too many of the enemies. Oh, also, be very conservative with your missiles because there is not a refill station before the next boss, and you want extra missiles for that boss. It's in your best interest to get as many missiles as you can possibly get. But you really shouldn't need to use that many missiles throughout this section. Pretty simple. The enemies can be easily defeated with the Polar Star. They're pretty weak for the most part. Or at least I think they're pretty weak. You really should. You won't struggle here. And if you do, then yeah. I don't know. I don't know what these puffball enemies are. They just seem so different from the rest of the enemies in this area. They just don't... I don't know. I don't think they belong. But, yeah, we're moving on to the next boss. It may look like we can go through that lion head, but we can't. At least not yet, anyway. So let's go in here. And we've made it to the core of the island. Yeah, this is the core of the island. If we destroy this core, the whole island will fall down. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're on a floating island, or at least I think we are. I think we're on a floating island, so if we destroy the core, it's gonna fall down. So let's... Should we destroy the core? I don't know. It will kill the doctor, but it will also kill everyone else. It's a tough decision. But I am a zombie, so what's in the best interest of a zombie? I don't know. I don't... I like the zombie thing, it just looks cool. Although, in general, I don't really like zombie games. I think there's way too many of them. I think there's far too many games that involve zombies. And generally, I don't like zombie games. They're very repetitive, it's kind of boring after a while. I'm just not a fan of zombie games, you know? I see why people like them, but they're just not for me. Okay, so this is one of the areas where the game tries to trick you into getting the not best ending. So if you talk to Curly right here, you won't get the best ending. Instead, you need to go all the way over here, go to the sparkling thing, and get the tow rope. If you don't get this, you won't get the best ending. It's just, this game tries to trick you in so many ways, and it's not over yet. No, it's not over yet. So now that we have the tow rope, let's go talk to Curly. And another cutscene will take place. And a robot is activated. Is this a boss? I don't know. Looks like a boss. We're being sealed in. And what do you know? It is a boss. Look at this. This is the core of the island. We are facing off against the core of the island. And this boss is awesome. In the music piece that accompanies it, I love this song. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game. Just listen to this. Amazing. Amazing. Oh, I recommend you get missiles up to level 3 at this point, just so you can damage the boss a lot better than you normally can. This boss is kind of hard to hit. Your polar star barely reaches it, so you need to use all of your missiles. If you have the machine gun, you'll be just fine. It won't be a problem. But if you don't, it might be a tough boss. Right there, I was just being blown away, so I couldn't exactly jump back up. He does that every so often. And he's almost dead. Maybe Curly will kill him? Oh, she did. Wow. Oh, that's cool. And we just destroyed the core of the island. And Misery is not happy about that. But Curly doesn't seem to care. Yeah. Curly is very ditzy. She's very, you know, carefree. I like Curly as a character. I don't know, she's cool. Your character doesn't exactly speak. You don't even know the name of your character. If you do the best ending, you do get to find out what it is, but if you don't, you'll never know. It's not the most exciting name either. So it looks like the area is being flooded. So we need to escape. We can't stop for Curly. We gotta get out of here. And we're running out of air. Uh-oh, this isn't looking good. Not looking good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the door is shut. We're doomed. And that's the end of the game. I hope you enjoyed this marathon. I'll see you guys later. Oh, there's more to it. What's this? A cryptic message. English. I'm good at it. Did you know the woman named Jenka had a younger brother? His name was Balos. Like his older sister, he had magical powers unlike anyone could imagine. Well, that was weird. Oh, that was a strange message. I wonder what that meant. Well, it turns out we can breathe now because Curly gave us her magical bubble. But you can't leave Curly behind. You have to take her. Now, if you did not get the tow rope, you have to leave Curly here and she will die. I think she dies. Pretty sure she dies. So yeah, you gotta get her. Make sure you grab that tow rope. And we're off. We're now in the water section and we move very slowly and it's not that long, so it's not a big deal. So we need to take Curly with us in order to save her. Otherwise, she's gonna die. And we don't want that because we can't get the best ending if she dies. And we want the best ending. because you always want the best ending. No one wants the bad ending. No one wants that. Alright, so now we're in the... I don't know what this area is. I'm just going to call it the waterway. And we need to navigate through all the water and save Curly. It's not too hard. The Polar Star takes care of most enemies in this area, so don't worry if you used up all of your missiles on the boss. You won't be needing them for this area. Oddly enough, the fireball works underwater. What is this, operating under the same logic as SpongeBob SquarePants? I guess so, I don't know. If you really think about SpongeBob, the entire show doesn't make any sense. Like, just think about it. All the stuff that happens, none of it makes sense at all, but I don't know, I like SpongeBob. I watched a lot of it as a kid, but I don't know, I kind of stopped after, say, season 4, I guess? Maybe season 3, I don't know. I really only watched the early episodes of SpongeBob. Like, I think they're on season 9 now, and I don't know if any of the other seasons are any good. Like I said, I've only seen, like, the first few seasons. But, yeah, I'm sure it's still fine. I didn't watch it all that much. I just watched it when I was a kid, and then I stopped. Anyways, we need to sleep in this bed because this is the only way to save Curly. So right now she's suffering from some sort of like water poisoning because she's a robot. So we need to learn how to get all the water out of her. So if we go to this notebook over here, we can learn how to drain the water from her. Then we can sort of save her. Now this is the second time the game tries to trick you into not getting the best ending. So after you drain the water from Curly, she wakes up for a moment, says something, and then goes back to sleep. After doing this, the game will try to trick you. So if we talk to her, it says, the restart process will take some time to complete. So you might think, okay, time to leave. Nope, can't do that. Talk to her again, and it says, would you like to leave her here? And the default option is yes. Also trying to trick you, but you have to say no. You have to take her with you, otherwise you won't get the best ending. I don't think she dies if you don't take her with you, but you can't get the best ending. You won't get the best ending on your first time through if you don't know about it already. It's just, there's no way you would figure out all of that stuff. It's just, there's no way. It just would not happen. Okay, so now we gotta go through the second area of the waterway. This involves some precision jumping, but it's nothing too extreme. You should be able to handle it just fine. If I can handle it, you can handle it. And it's time for a boss. And this boss is a little bit different since you're underwater, so yeah. Interestingly enough, if you defeat this boss without taking any damage, you get a really random item. I've only done it like twice, and I just failed a couple seconds ago. I also upgraded my blade to level 3, which is not a good thing. I mean, like I said, blade 3 isn't that bad, but I just prefer blade 1 and 2 over it. But this boss isn't so hard. There's a bunch of fish that pop up, and they will drop health and experience if you need it, so don't stress this boss too much. You really shouldn't have any problems with it. And now we're back in Mamiga Village for some reason. I don't know why, but let's head back to Arthur's house. Because that's where you're supposed to go. Because I already know that. Because I've played this game a bunch of times. I love this game. And look who it is. It is Professor Booster. Okay, so he tells you that the doctor has advanced with his plans and that Kazuma is going to escape from the island or something like that. I don't know. Something along those lines. And he gives you the Booster version 2.0. And this is a jetpack. Now, remember in the labyrinth where if we fell in that pit, we would not be able to get the best ending? Well, if you fall in that pit, you get an item called the Booster version 0.8. And that is just like a very... It's still a jetpack, but it's nothing compared to this one. It can only go up, while this one can go in all 4 directions. It's really cool. It's a great item. It's a lot of fun to use. I love the booster version 2.0. We'll be using it throughout the rest of the game. Actually, no. At one point, you have to not use it. So you may be wondering, why am I back in this cave? The very first cave in the game. Well, you know what? I kind of feel bad. We stole that weapon from this guy while he was sleeping. You know what? Since the Polar Star is kind of weak, I think we should return it to him. I think that's only fair. I mean, we just stole it from him. That's not right. I don't feel right doing that. I feel guilty, so we're just gonna return it. You know, we don't need it anymore. And if you do return it, he upgrades it for you and gives you the best weapon in the game. Easily the best weapon, at least in my opinion. So you have to wait a little bit, and then he repairs it, and you get the Spur, which is it's my favorite weapon in the game. So this weapon is very different than everything else. To start off, it shoots the same strength the normal bullet is the same strength as the level 3 Polar Star. But this weapon, you can charge up and make a giant laser. And also, what's great about this weapon is you don't need experience for it. Doesn't matter how much experience you have, it will always charge up to level 3. And yeah, that's why it's so awesome. The Spur is a great weapon. It's my weapon of choice. And I'll be using it for pretty much the rest of the game. There's no reason for me to use the blade anymore. Yeah, there's really no reason for me to use it. It's not that helpful against the upcoming bosses, but the Spur, great weapon. I love it. I love the Spur. And with that, we can now proceed with the rest of the game, I think. Am I missing anything? I don't know. Let's just keep going. We should be fine. I might have missed a heart container upgrade at some point. Alright, so now we need to return to the egg corridor, because the egg that had the dragon in it hatched. Actually, no, this is the egg corridor? Question mark? Everything's all destroyed. I'm not exactly sure why, but everything's destroyed, so yeah. Don't ask me why. But the layout is somewhat similar to before. I mean, it's different, obviously, but yeah, it's pretty much the same. Now there's spikes that are falling from the ceiling. I don't know why, but they are. You really shouldn't worry about them. If you have the booster version 2.0, all the obstacles are really easy to get past. And if you have the Spur, all of the enemies are very easy to defeat, so yeah, make sure you get both of them. It's my favorite combo of weapon and jetpack, although there's only 2 jetpacks in the game, and one of them is clearly inferior to the other one, so yeah. Anyways, here we are in the egg observation room? Question mark. And here's a chest. I'm sure this is inconspicuous. Let's open it. Max missiles increased by 5. And a boss. 2 dragons. Now, if you have the Spur, this boss is a pushover. The Spur is super powerful. When it's fully charged, I think it can do 100 damage, which is incredible. It's amazing. I love the Spur. Great weapon. Great weapon. It's not only is it super powerful, you don't need to worry about it de-leveling because of XP or experience points. It's just awesome. I love the Spur. It's I mean, the other weapons are cool. The machine gun is cool. It's kind of fun to use, but yeah. The snake is also kind of cool, but I don't find myself using it all that much. And it looks like the egg has hatched. And here's Kazuma. He wants to escape from the island now. Now that the dragon has hatched, he can use it to escape from the island. So you have the option to leave or continue with the game. If you choose to leave right here, you get the bad ending. So we obviously don't want that. We want to defeat the doctor and get the best ending. So we're going to say no to his request. And yeah, we'll be on our way. I think if you choose no right here, you can always go back to him and choose yes. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you have the option if you want to. So now we have to climb up the outer wall. Before that, let's go under here and access a little secret area. Over here is a really random door, and here are the little people. Now this person wants you to look for their husband. Now, we actually passed by the husband. Now, if you've never played this game before and you saw the husband, you deserve a cookie, at the bare minimum. Maybe a chocolate chip cookie, maybe it's, you know, it's quite the accomplishment. If you actually noticed it without playing the game before, I applaud you. Because, he's really tiny. But we did pass by him, so you could have noticed him. In this room is the 290 counter. It has no purpose for the time being, but later on, it has a purpose. You'll see when we get there, don't be impatient. Alright, so with the booster 2.0, climbing up the wall is very, very easy. If you only have the booster 0.8, it's actually a lot harder, but since we have the 2.0 booster, it's very simple. I love the booster 2.0. It's a lot of fun to use. It's fun to boost in all 4 directions. It makes walking a whole lot easier because you can just boost horizontally and go faster. Yeah, it's really cool. And here's a dog. He's gonna cower in the corner. We'll just ignore him for the time being. Yeah, so here we are at the plantation. This is where all the Mamigas were being taken. You know, when the doctor took them away. And for some reason, the main theme of the game plays here. I don't know why, but this is the main theme for the game. So, I like the theme, it's really cool, but I'm not sure why it's being played right here. It doesn't really make much sense to me. But up here is a life capsule, and I think there's only one left. The plantation is a rather confusing area. Your first time through, you may struggle to figure out what to do, but if you explore enough, you'll figure it out. Here is the fisherman we encountered much earlier in the game. If you remember at the Mamiga village at the very beginning, we saw him fishing, and yeah, he's back. You need to talk to him because he'll fish up something very helpful for you. So let's go get that right now. It's at the very bottom left of the village, so yeah, just head over there now. Pretty simple. The village is rather large. I think it's larger than the Mamiga village. Or actually, excuse me, the plantation is rather large. I think it's larger than the Mamiga village, but I'm pretty sure it's larger. Anyways, over here is the teleportation room. You need the key from the fisherman to get in here. And this guy, he looks like an enemy, but we can't hurt him. So let's just walk by him. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Oh, something bad happened. Didn't see that coming. And he puts us in jail. Yeah. Alright, so we need to talk to this guy. I don't think he has a name. I don't think so. But you need to talk to him twice. Because if you don't, there'll be a block right here. But once you talk to him twice, it'll open up. While we were in jail, Sue snuck a letter into our inventory. Now you need to read this because it gives you some sort of password to some secret hideout. Yeah, it's you have to read it. I'm pretty sure you have to read it anyway. So just read that real quick. I think it just says something about how the doctor is getting really close to achieving all of his goals and all of that. Nothing special, but you gotta read it. Before we continue with the main quest, let us go to this very strange tunnel over here, and there will be Curly, who seems to have lost her memory completely. If you talk to this guy, he will tell you that there's some special mushroom that will help her cure her memory loss. So we have to do some backtracking, but we're gonna go get that special mushroom. It is located inside Mamiga Village. You can't get to it before this point because you need the booster in order to get to the person, or not person, in order to get to the mushroom. And yeah, so you can't do it until this point. And do I have... I think I'm all set to go. I'm pretty sure. So we need to head back up to the graveyard. Oh, one more thing before we go there. If you bring a jellyfish juice back to this area and you use it on this fireplace, excuse me. You'll get another weapon. It's some sort of bubble weapon. I really don't think it's any good, but I didn't see the point of getting it. But if you want it, you can get it. Anyways, we need to go up here, and here is the mushroom. So we need to talk to him a bunch of times and answer some questions. Yes, I want the mushroom badge. No, I don't really need it. Yes, I want it. I really want it. Then you don't need it. No. And he gives it to us. And there's the mushroom badge. And that will cure Curly's amnesia. So let's check it out. Mushroom badge. A mushroom badge obtained from Ma Pig... I don't know how to pronounce that. It serves no purpose? I want a refund. We're going back. I want a refund for my... This is a ripoff. So it turns out that he is the thing we need, so we need to, well, kill him. He's a rather easy boss. He has a lot of health, but if you have the spur, he's not too bad. He'll crash into the walls and make a bunch of rocks fall from the ceiling, but he's really not that bad. At some point, he will go to the top of the room and make a bunch of clones of himself fall. But, not too bad. You should be A-okay with this boss. And if you aren't, then... Oh, we can't leave just yet. I almost forgot about something. So, if you didn't notice, during our first time through the graveyard, there's a tiny person. He's right here. You gotta grab him. You gotta take him home. If you noticed that our first time through the graveyard, I'm quite impressed, because I didn't notice it. Alright, so we have a few options here. We can go cure Curly, we can go bring the tiny guy back home, or we can continue with the main quest. So let's do the two optional things beforehand. Get them out of the way. First, let's do the Curly thing first, just so we don't forget about it. Don't want to forget about it, because it is required for the best ending, so... And I think this is the final step in order to get the best ending. Well, there's one more step, but you don't really have to do all that much. So you have to give the mushroom to Curly, and she will exclaim, quote! Your name's quote. So yes, your name is quote. I don't exactly understand the significance of that name, but your name is quote. And, yeah. I don't really get it, but Curly will regain her memory, and she'll tell you something about a demon crown and you know, some random things. Maybe it's related to that cryptic message we saw earlier. I don't know, maybe. Just a wild guess on my part. But now that we're done with that, let's go return the little guy back to his home. And I think at this point it would be appropriate to cover my final topic. Alright, so a person asked me, just randomly, I think it was during Skype or something like that, they asked me why I don't live stream this series. Now there's two reasons for that. One reason is I don't know if I have the capabilities of doing that. The way I record takes a lot of my computer to, do it. It takes a lot of CPU, so I don't know if I can successfully live stream as well as record it, because I want it to be recorded without any lag or anything like that, so I don't know if I can do it. Hold on a second. Now that we return this guy, he will offer to trade the sword for his gun, the Nemesis. The Nemesis is a really strange weapon. At level 1, it is extremely powerful. It does 12 damage per shot, and it fires extremely quickly. However, at level 2, it shoots slower and it does less damage, so you want to not level it up. It sounds strange, but that's what you want to do. Anyways, as I was saying, I don't know if I have the capability to live stream and record the footage flawlessly. I don't want the footage to turn out to be, maybe choppy or something like that. But that's really not the main reason why I'm not live streaming this. The main reason is I don't want to say, if I say something stupid, or something I didn't mean, I don't want that. I don't want people to see that, because during the blind run of the Super Adventure Islands 2 marathon, I said some things I did not mean to say, and I would not be happy if people heard that. And one of the reasons I don't want to live stream this is because if I say something stupid, a lot of people will hear it, and then, just some bad things will happen. And at least with this, when I do it like this, if something goes terribly wrong, I don't have to post it. But if I live streamed it, people would see it, and to be honest, I just don't want to do it. And that's the reason why I'm not live streaming this. Anyways, back to the main quest. So here's the secret hideout. Now we need to figure out the password, which was in Sue's letter. And just look at this password. Have you figured out what it is yet? Spell it backwards. What does it spell? What does it spell? It spells cave story. Dumbest password ever. That's just stupid. They're not being clever with that. That's just stupid, I'm not gonna lie. That's just flat out dumb. Inside, you will meet this person. Her name, I do not know. Oh, and she takes away the Booster 2.0 from you. So now you can't just boost your way around. After giving it to her, it starts a rather interesting part of the game. You have to put on this Mamiga mask, and you have to sort of infiltrate the organization, and you have to get some parts for this rocket, which will help you reach the doctor, and it's strange. Excuse me. Alright, so now that we have the Mamiga mask on, all the enemies won't attack us, and we can talk to all of them. So, yeah, let's go do that. Let's go get... I think we need to get a sprinkler from one of the Mamigas, so let's go do that. Oh! Oh, that's clever. Oh, that's good. The Mamiga mask is a pumpkin head. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's super cool. It totally fits with the Halloween theme. Oh, that's cool. I like that. We have a pumpkin. That's good. I like that. That's pretty cool. Anyways, we need to go get a sprinkler. So if we go talk to this guy, he will tell you that you need to go exchange the broken sprinkler with one that works. So we're gonna go exchange it, but we're never gonna bring it back. It's a little bit... I don't know. I'd have nothing to say about it. So let's go talk to this guy, give him the broken sprinkler, and he will give you a functional one. Yeah. So all we need to do is bring it back. We'll have everything we need for the rocket, or all the parts we need. We need to go talk to someone else to get the rocket working, which which we will do in just a moment. Alright, so head back to the secret hideout, say the password again, and give her the sprinkler. Alright, so we need to locate some guy named Ito, which we already passed by him. He was the dog that was cowering in the corner. So let's go talk to him real quick. And we can be on our way to the end of the game. We're actually almost done with this. Like I said, this game isn't particularly long or anything. It's actually rather short. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy playing this game again and again. It's fun. I like it, and I recommend you try it out too. I don't know, it just has a lot of charm that a lot of other games don't exactly have. And it's fun. Alright, so now that we got the controller, she will finish up the rocket, so we need to go rest. In the bed. Down here. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, so in a second, the person will take away the Mamiga mask from you. Apparently there's some way to get to the end of the game with it. I don't know how, but apparently there's a way to do it. I don't exactly know how, but maybe it's something much easier than I'm thinking. I don't know. But she gives us the booster 2.0 back, so we'll put that back on. And okay, so we can use the rocket to get up to the very top. But we need to jump off. Not exactly. We have to jump off early and talk to this dog. And he will give you, I think this is the final life capsule. Well, actually, no. Not quite. There's one more to go. Oh, but I have 50 health, which is good. That's the maximum amount of health I can have at this time, which is good. Alright, so now we can use the rocket to get up to the very top. You need it to get all the way up here. Apparently, there's a way to get up here without the rocket, but you can't go in the door. There's some way to do it. I think I saw a video on it once, but... Anyways, here's the last cave. Now, if you did all the requirements for the best ending, the last cave changes slightly. I think it adds a boss and makes the enemies more powerful. Something along those lines. I'm pretty sure. But this area is very deadly. All of those red spikes will do 10 damage to you. And there's some pretty difficult parts where you need to use the jetpack in a kind of strange way. So I hope you've learned how to use the Booster 2.0. Because if you haven't, you're going to struggle here. Hopefully, I will be just fine. I know I'm doing a live commentary, and generally my skill isn't very good during a live commentary. But so far, I'm doing actually a really good job with this game. I haven't died yet, and the bosses have went pretty well so far. I think I've killed them, you know, quick enough and taking... I didn't take too much damage, so I think I've been doing a pretty good job. If you disagree with me, then alright, good for you. Give yourself a medal, pat yourself on the back, and yeah. Alright, this one's tough. Oh, I got it. Alright, we're good. Almost done. Generally, I take, you know, like 20 damage before I get to the boss, but this time, I did it perfectly. Not bad. Oh, also in this area, all of your weapons went back down to level 1. It's not a big deal if you're just going to use the spur like I am, but otherwise you might want to get some extra experience here. Here's our boss. It is the Red Ogre. Now the Red Ogre will fire a bunch of spinny wheels at you, but with the Booster 2.0, you can kind of just dodge it all. It's very simple. And once you defeat him, you get the Medal of the Red Ogre, which is completely useless, but it's cool to have nonetheless. Alright, so the last part of this is arguably the hardest, because there's a couple things that can kill you instantly, so we're going to watch out for those. We gotta really focus here. Alright, So these things up here, if they drop on you, they will kill you instantly. No joke, instant death. They do 127 damage, which is an instant kill, so we gotta watch out for them. This one is in particular, it's hard to get by. We need to use the booster 2.0 and we're fine. Alright, we're good to go. And up here is the final area of the game. It is the balcony of the island. This part is pretty simple. There's a bunch of enemies up here, but if you have the booster 2.0, you can kind of just fly over them. In this room is the final save area of the game. Feel free to use that bed if you are low on health or something like that. And, yeah. So up ahead, we need to fight 4 bosses in a row. That's right, 4 bosses, and they are some of the most difficult bosses in the game. So if you have your life pot, be ready to use it. Here we go, the final part of the game. Here we are at the throne room. And here's Misery, the first of the 4 bosses here. Excuse me. Alright, so Misery is, she's strange. All of her attacks involve these black orbs. Sometimes she'll shoot them at you, other times they will rotate around you, or around her. And these special ones they'll fly around the room, and once they get to you, they will, they'll shoot lightning at you. The orbs that surround her are very, they're impenetrable. You cannot do any damage to her, or you can't shoot through them, so yeah, you just kind of, it's not too hard. Misery is not the easiest of the 4 bosses, but one of the easier ones, and I took 2 damage, not bad. 3 bosses to go. And up here, here's the Doctor. Yes, the Doctor, the big bad villain of the game. And it's time for the final face-off, and he has the red crystal, which makes him much more powerful than a normal human, so let's do this. Let's kill him. Let's kill him. This fight is really easy. He'll just shoot out a bunch of, you know, he shoots out 2 swirling type things, and then he'll teleport throughout the room. He has one other attack where he teleports to the center of the room and he shoots out a bunch of different red things. It's really hard to avoid, but he doesn't do it too often, so you should be just fine. And there you go. Or there you go. Now he's dead. But he has a second form. He transforms into slightly scarier Doctor. And this version is actually a little bit easier. Sometimes he'll charge at you, other times he'll do some other things, but if you have the spur, you can kill him rather quickly. Oh, he also teleports around the room, just like before. But, he's not too bad. Out of water. No big deal. Game's almost over anyway. Alright, 3 bosses down, 1 to go. And we're approaching the final room of the game. Make sure you got that life pot. Here we are, black space. And what's this? This looks familiar. It looks like the core from earlier. And it is the core. Oh, and Misery's still here, by the way. And look who it is, it's Sue. And she holds her hostage and whatnot. Yeah. She tries to make some deal with you, I don't know. You're a robot, you don't care. You just want to kill everything. And what's this? The Doctor is still alive? The red crystal is somehow keeping him alive, and he's just going to fuse with the core. And this is one of the most interesting bosses in the game, because not only do you fight the core of the island, you also fight Misery, which is, well, Misery gets transformed into that thing. I don't really know what it is. But not only do you fight Misery, you fight Sue, who is also transformed. So you get 3 bosses in 1. And here we go. Now notice that this music piece playing right here is simply amazing. It is flawless. I love it. It's a great theme. It's awesome. Alright, so all of the characters do different things. Sue will try to attack you with physical attacks. She'll try to come up close. and do all that. Misery will summon all types of enemies, like those blob enemies, and I think she also summons some bats and whatnot. I like to kill Sue first, just because she gets in the way the most. The core will be shooting some kinds of magical attacks at you. Now, if you're going for a speed run, you should kind of just ignore Misery and Sue, but since I'm doing a pretty normal run, I'm just gonna attack them right away. I'm gonna kill them first and then kill the core. I don't know, just feels right. Misery and Sue have a lot of health, but if you have the spur, you should be able to take them out, you know, quickly enough. Once they're out of the way, the rest of the fight is really easy. All the things Misery summons can drop health, so if you need some, feel free to grab it. And now that they're dead, it's time to take on the core. The core can shoot all kinds of things at you. Yeah, it's... Get these missiles out of the way. Get in my way. Die! Alright, so if you just charge up the spur, you should be able to do a lot of damage to the core. Every so often, it'll kind of just disappear and you won't be able to damage it. It's not really a big deal. Just wait for it to reappear. And sometimes it does a giant laser attack like that. Or not a laser attack, giant ball attack. And if you're persistent enough and you dodge everything and all that, you'll destroy the undead core. Now all that's left is to escape from the island. They are prepping the helicopter. So yeah, all we need to do now is escape, which we have to do ourselves. Yeah, so just kind of run to the end. We should be just fine. And we'll be done with the game. Alright, let's do this. Let's take Sue and let's get out of here. Okay, so we just need to run all the way back to the helicopter. Pretty simple. You shouldn't struggle with it. If you do, I'm sorry. Well, it's just running. Watch out for the blocks that fall from the sky, I guess. I don't really know why they're falling, but they are. But before we go to the helicopter, let's stop by this room. Crap. This door is supposed to open, but UAA is an idiot and forgot one of the requirements to get the best ending. Now, does UAA know which one he forgot? Yes, he does. The question is, can he go back and get it? Let's find out. I think I can go back and get it. I'm almost positive. I know which one I didn't get, and I can't believe I forgot it. Okay, so after you give Curly the mushroom, you have to talk to her again to get some random item. It's totally pointless. I'm serious. The item, it just feels like it was thrown in there at the last minute. It is pointless. So if you want to skip to the ending, or that room I was supposed to go in, feel free to look in the description and there will be something there. Otherwise, you can listen to me babble on for a couple minutes while I backtrack. I just have to go back to the plantation, so it's not too much, but can't believe I was afraid of this. If I can't get the item, I'm gonna be super angry because I want to show off the best ending for multiple reasons. Which, if you haven't played this game before, you don't know what I'm talking about, but if you have played this before, then you do. The best ending is very, very unique. You'll see why. So we're just gonna backtrack, not too hard. I think I should be okay. Kind of running low on health here, but I should be just fine if I... Yeah, here we go. Alright, so we're back at the plantation. Please tell me I can get this item. Please tell me I can die. Well, there's my first death. Not where I expected to die. You need to stay in the very middle right there, otherwise you're gonna die. I was hoping I wouldn't die throughout this, but I expect to die later on anyway. You'll see why. Hint, hint. Alright, so we gotta talk to Curly now. There we go. There's the iron bond. It's useless. Like, it does nothing. I don't get it. Why is it even here? Let's heal real quick. Yeah, man. I forgot. Not a big deal. Okay, so let's just head back up to the balcony. We do need to kill all the bosses again. Which is, you know, you get to see them again if you want to. If you don't want to, feel free to skip ahead. I noticed in the last episode I didn't tell you guys anything to comment about in the comment section. Like in episode 1 I told you to talk about, was it celery? I think it was celery. I think in the Link to the Past was it grilled cheese? I'm tempted to do it right now, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just comment about something. Make a random comment. Just any random comment. It can be about anything. Anything you want. I just want to read a random comment. So if you're listening to this right now, make a random comment. It could even just be a couple of numbers. I don't care. It could be anything. I just want a random comment. And if you don't want to, then fine. Be like that, Mr. Grumpy Pants. You're no fun. If I was a viewer, I would put a random comment in. You know, if I was viewing my own video, which I will end up watching this again. One of the things with Marathon is I have to watch it, like the whole thing. Just like, well, actually you don't have to watch the whole thing. If you want to, you can, but I have to watch the whole thing just to make sure, you know, everything turned out right, make sure everything's synced up and all of that, so. Yeah, so it's not a big deal sometimes, but like for A Link to the Past, that was 4.5 hours, which was quite a bit. You know, for this, it's only a couple hours, so I should be able to do this, you know, quickly. This shouldn't be too bad. I think this is going to be 2.5 hours? Something like that. Yeah, 2.5 hours sounds good. I started at 10 o'clock and it's a little past 12 right now, so 2.5 hours sounds good. Let's save, or let's heal and save. And let's go take on those bosses again. So, if you're watching this for the first time, you may be thinking, those bosses didn't look so hard. Why did you say you need the life pot for them? Well, this isn't exactly the end of the game. If you get the best ending, there's a little bit more to the game. And yeah, so let's kill Misery right here real quick once again. With the spur, all of these bosses go down really quickly. I remember my first time through this, I had the machine gun, and all the boss fights were really intense. I really enjoyed it. And I thought this was the end of the game, and I don't know, it was just really cool. But I learned later that it's not the end of the game. Turns out that there's more to it. And I think Misery should die right here. Not quite. Right, let's hit her one more time. Ah, taking a lot of damage here. Come on. There we go. Took 12 damage there. It's quite a bit, but I I think I should be okay. The other bosses really aren't so hard. When you have the machine gun, they are kind of hard, but I don't know how hard they are with the snake. I really haven't used the snake all that much. Alright, Doctor, time to die once again. Yeah. Alright, so same strategy as before, and you should be just fine. Okay. I just don't want to take a lot of damage here, because the final boss can, you know, it can do a lot of damage to you. Or not the final boss. I've kind of revealed at this point that this isn't the end of the game, but, you know, the final boss of this area it can do quite a bit of damage to you if you are not paying attention. So just trying to go into the fight with, you know, 30 HP or more. That sounds about good. This is actually this form of the Doctor is actually the easiest. I don't know, it just kind of jumps around. It doesn't really do all that much. It's not that hard, to be quite honest. Alright, so how much health do I have left? Hopefully enough. 30. Alright, great. That should be just enough to take on the boss. Actually, it should be more than enough, but yeah, it should be fine. Alright, so should I just take out the core right away, or should I go after... I don't know, let's take the safe route and just... Let's kill Sue and then Misery and then the boss. Yeah. Same cutscene as before, so I don't have much to say about it. Not enough time to talk about some random topics, so deal with it. And just listen to this track once again, because it's a great song. Or it's my favorite song in the soundtrack, I'm trying to say. It's just, I don't know what it is. It feels so fitting for the final battle. I love it. It's a great song. The original version, I don't like it. Maybe it's because I love this version so much, but the original version just isn't as good. Alright, so we're kind of running low on health. Let's grab all those hearts that Misery left with all of her enemies. Alright, I'm not sure who has more health, Misery or Sue. I think Sue does, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright, Misery's down, time to take on the boss. With only 22 health. Not 22, 18. Is that gonna be enough? We'll see. I hope so. I think I should be just fine if I'm careful. If I'm careful and I watch out for all the attacks, I should be fine. Alright, so over halfway done. The core itself really isn't that hard. Misery and Sue is what makes the fight difficult. Oh, okay. I think I only had like 5 HP left there, so... good thing I survived. Welcome back if you skipped to this point. I think I have fulfilled all of the requirements I need to, so now we can access the best ending of the game. Here's the helicopter scene again, blah blah blah, blah blah. Yeah. Alright, so let's escape this island once and for all. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright, so let's just use the Booster 2.0 to make our way to the end. Alright. I hope this works. I hope I got everything. Please tell me I got everything. Alright, so, yes, the door's open. Okay. So, I lied a little bit earlier. When I said that was the final boss, that wasn't the final boss. That's the final boss for the good ending. If you do all of those random requirements, you can unlock the best ending, which is you have to go through another area of the island, as well as face off with 4 bosses in a row again. Now, this is the part I was talking about when I said save your life pot for, because you're going to need it. Now, I apologize in advance if I don't talk all that much during this section. This section is hard. It's meant to be hard. So, I just want to get through this once. I don't want to die, so I apologize if I'm not very talkative. I just want to finish this once. So let's get started with this. Ugh, I want to do this in one try. Okay. So, you may be wondering what exactly is going on. We defeated the Doctor. I give up on life. I give up on life, seriously. I can't even make it 5 seconds into the... Try number 2! So you may be wondering what exactly is going on. We defeated the Doctor, so shouldn't the game be over? Come on! So you may be wondering what exactly is going on at this point. It's funny because I can go through this just fine every single time, but nope, can't even make it 10 seconds in. So you may be wondering what exactly is going on. We defeated the Doctor, so shouldn't the game be over? Well, not exactly. It turns out that there's a thing in the game called the Demon Crown. And there's a character named Balos that has it. Apparently he was some sort of like savior, and then, I don't know, and someone like betrayed him or something like that. And yeah, it's very... I don't care. It's the story. I don't care about it. If you want to figure it out, read the text for yourself. And so we have to go through this sanctuary, which is really difficult. Normally I can get through this just fine without taking... did I almost say without taking any damage? I mean, you know, surviving. Come on. Am I going to survive that? Is the block going to kill me? Please tell me. It's ridiculous. I can get through this every single time. Except the time I'm talking and recording and... Alright, come on. We're just gonna do this. Okay, so... Balos is imprisoned here forever with the Demon Crown. And we need to go stop him. And throughout the entire thing, we're gonna have Curly on our back, so... Yeah. I just want to beat this. Okay, I failed a bunch of times. I normally don't fail like that. This part is arguably the hardest part. Dodging all these blocks is very difficult, and they do 10 damage if a block falls on you. Now, if you only do... if you get hit by an enemy in that room, like all those angel type things, they only do 5. Okay, so now Curly is awake, and she will be on your back with the Nemesis. You can also use the Nemesis, so you can have 2 Nemesi? Yeah, at the same time, so that's cool, I guess. So I'm going to take a very conservative and very slow approach to this area because I want to live. I already failed enough times, and those attempts were rather embarrassing. Those are the areas you should not fail, so I'm going to try to be a bit more conservative throughout the next few areas, and hopefully we're going to beat this on our first try. If I don't, oh well. I think I will. I've got my life pod, so I should be just fine. If I don't, well, I expected to die a few times during this, so I didn't expect to die like I did, but I did, so deal with it. Oh, and the timer also starts here. You can do a bunch of speed runs if you want. I think my best time is displayed on the title screen, so if you want to see it, check the title screen. I don't think my time is very impressive, to be honest, but if you want to try to beat it, go ahead. Tell me if you can, because I don't think my time is that good, so you might be able to. Alright, so here's the first of 5 bosses in this area. Yeah, forgot about this one, but there's 5 bosses in the area. So for this thing, it's a giant thingamajig. I like to pull out the Nemesis and just go to town, just fire as fast as I can. Watch out for the crystals, because if you get one of them, the Nemesis will level up. So here's the level 3 Nemesis. It shoots ducks? Look at it, it shoots ducks. It's very slow and it's very weak, so yeah. Once that boss is dead, we can switch to the Spur, and we'll be able to take on the final boss. 4 forms. The hardest boss in the game. See, this run is going just fine. Once I get past the first 2 rooms, I'm okay. And I don't think I'm going to fail on the boss. If I do, I will... I don't know, I'll do something. And here's the final room of the game. This is Balos. He is imprisoned here because of some reason. I don't care about the story, like I said. If you care, fine, read it, go for it, go to town. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Doesn't bother me. doesn't interest me. Story is just there. Like I said, it's cave story. Even though it has story in the game itself has little story, which is fine by me. So here is the first form of Balos. He likes to jump around and try to stomp at you. Whenever he stomps on the ground, a bunch of skeleton bones and stuff will come out. Well, this form isn't too bad, just kind of... once you get the pattern down, it's pretty simple. At some point in his health, he will go to the top of the room and start firing lightning bolts at you. They're somewhat difficult to dodge, but not too bad. Here's the second form. It's a giant ball. Now this form has very awkward collision detection, I find. Hitting the eyes is really odd. You have to be much higher than you would think. And this is actually the fastest I've ever killed it. Wow, that was really quick. I never do that. That was actually pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so here's the third form. A bunch of red things will start rotating around it. You need to get rid of every single one. Whenever it goes to the ceiling, a bunch of skulls will fall from it. Not too bad. When it goes to the ground, you need to kind of weave your way in between everything. It's a little bit tricky, but once you get the hang of it, you shouldn't struggle too much with it. Alright, one more to go. And there we go. Okay, so here we are. The final form of the final boss. A bunch of spikes will come out of the floor, and we need to do this entire boss in the air. You're gonna hop between these platforms, and throughout the boss, a bunch of angels are gonna come and try to shoot stuff at us. Your best bet is to kill this boss fast. And I mean as fast as you can. You do not want to be here long. These angels can really, you know what? Life pot. We're not going to risk it. I can't get through this without the life pot, but, you know, doing a live commentary is kind of hard to play and talk at the same time. And, yeah, I just want to beat this. Just ignoring them. Just shoot. Done. Oh my god. Whoa. Oh, check that out. Check that out. You see that? You see that? 5 minutes exactly. That was totally intentional, by the way. I meant to do that in exactly 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's actually not a bad time. Well, you know, I'm sure the speedrunners will tell me otherwise, but 5 minutes isn't too bad. If you go really slowly throughout that section, you can get to that first boss with pretty much full health, but, you know, I didn't really want to, you know, go through it as fast as I could, but I didn't want to go slow either. Oh, and it looks like we're gonna die. But look who it is. It is Balos coming, or not Balos, Balrog coming to the rescue. And we escaped just in time. So in the end, he's a good guy. How sweet. Yay. I beat it. Alright. That went better than expected, but it could have went better. I can't believe I died that many times in the sanctuary. But once I got past the first 2 rooms, I did it on my first try, so I think I did a good job. If you don't think so, then toast. Yeah, toast. I don't know. But anyways, that's the end of the game. Here's the ending. Not Balos, what do I keep saying? Balrog, Quote, and Curly just fly off somewhere, and they're gonna live happily ever after. How sweet. Yeah, I don't know. It's an ending. And that's the end of the game. If you haven't played this game before, I highly recommend you try it out. It's super fun. It's an experience. I mean, the game itself, I mean, it's sort of short, it's kind of simple, but just the experience you get from it, I don't know, I love this game. I think it's great. I think everyone should try it out. Whatever version you want. The original one, Cave Story Plus, the 3DS version, or the Wii version. Whatever one you want, they're all pretty much the same. just try this game out. It's a lot of fun. I like it. And I want to say thanks to FelixDeckett for recommending that I play this. I actually sort of thought about playing it, but I don't know. I didn't really plan on doing it until he told me to, and thank you for suggesting it. And if you have any suggestions for an upcoming or for a future episode of Marathon, leave them in the comments section. I will consider them. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. It's 12:30 right now. I'm not really tired. Don't really want to go to bed. But happy Halloween, everyone. Yeah, I know I'm not recording this on the day of Halloween, but I'm going to post it on the day of Halloween, which I think is in the middle of the week. Is it a Wednesday? Tuesday? I think it's a Tuesday. Yeah, so you'll be seeing this on Halloween. Today is actually the 27th, for those who are wondering. Actually, no. I started recording this on the 26th, and now it's the 27th. Strange how that works. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave your suggestions for games in the comment section below. Leave any other questions or any other comments in the comment section. You know, whatever you want. I'm one of those people that really likes to respond to all my comments and answer all the questions I can, so if you got a question, comment, any of that, leave it in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next episode of Marathon. Until next time, this is UAA signing out. I'll see you guys later. So, how's it going? I see you've made it to the secret message portion of the video. So how's it going? How's life? Doing good? Doing good? Doing well in school? Work? Neither? Actually, if you don't have work or school, should you really be watching my videos? Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Cave story, the end.